What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video I want to talk about if EA is going to announce Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 or Project Maverick, or technically both of them, at their EA Plays this year. Now, we're only around 2-ish weeks away, a little bit more than 2 weeks away from this happening. So this is very, very exciting. We're getting in to some very exciting territory in games. Really, really quickly, before I jump into this video, I do just want to promote my second channel. It'll be in a link in the description below if you guys want to check it out. It doubles up on the content that I make here on Podcast Now. It's a little bit more experimental. I do some different kinds of things over there, try out some different things that maybe just don't work on this channel. So if you guys want to check it out, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Again, the link will be in the description below. Now, when it comes to the Star Wars situation, I would have actually said before Project Maverick, so before Project Maverick even was announced, I would have probably said that although Jedi Fallen Order literally came out like 6 months ago, I still would think that maybe they would do some sort of teaser or maybe like a nod, like, yes, we are working on a second game from this studio. I think that's very possible. And even, right now, even with Project Maverick, obviously, right, it leaked. It was on the PlayStation Store. It got taken down. Nobody's really talked about it since, but there has been talks as an unusual game. It's a very different kind of Star Wars game. A lot of people comparing it to like Flight Simulator. So you're going to be able to fly spacecraft, basically, right? It's like, the ships that you have seen in Star Wars. Now, we don't know, at least I haven't seen all that much information past that. So is there going to be like a heavy story? What exactly are we flying? Is it a multiplayer only game? All these different kinds of things. We'll have to see. We'll absolutely have to see. So it's going to be really, really honestly, it's going to be really exciting to just see in general what they're working on. Also, that'll probably be the first next-gen Star Wars game. I mean, they don't have much competition, right? Because it's only themselves. They have the license. It's going to be the first Star Wars game that we see for next-gen. Now, will it be exclusively next-gen? That we'll have to wait and see. But I think the order, honestly, is pretty much set. So we know from a lot of different leaks/rumors that the plan seems to be 2021, the fall of 2021, and then the fall of 2022 is when the next two Star Wars games are going to come out, okay? So those are going to be back-to-back years. 2023, it's possible there's a third game. It could be the Battlefront 3. I do believe the talks that they actually haven't worked on it yet, okay? So that game has not been worked on. So if that is going to happen, they need to do it very, very quickly, or they're just not going to be given a lot of time to make it in general. And then the license expires. The license expires at the end of 2023, and going into 2024, EA loses the exclusive rights, unless they renew the contract, obviously, but they would lose the exclusive rights to make Star Wars games. Now, yes, they could continue making them if the rights are free, anybody can use them, right? We have to see how EA actually handles a situation like that. And by the way, this is no way me promoting that I want EA to keep it. I actually don't. I don't want EA to have this license. I think it's better overall and I've said this before, for the Star Wars community, give it literally to anybody. Make it the Wild West. We had a Wild West before EA had the license. And yes, we did have some bad games. There were definitely bad games, but at the same time, they were given creativity. They were given freedom to be able to do whatever they wanted. And yeah, you're going to get lazy games. You're probably going to get games that are very microtransaction based, or games that kind of scam people. Right? You're going to get. You could argue EA's done that, right? You're going to get games that probably will do that in the Star Wars license because it's just a moneymaker. But I think that's the best possible way to get, firstly, a lot of different Star Wars games, and also that, again, generally to spread it out a little bit. That's how you are going to get some really, really cool games going forward. But obviously, in the short term, we are where we are, right? We're getting Project Maverick, we're getting Jedi Fallen Order 2. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I do think it's possible we get mentions of both. Now, Project Maverick, I would expect some sort of like teaser trailer. Again, if it's not coming out till, say, October or November of 2021, I don't know how much they would show. In fact, I don't think they would show all that much at all because it is so far away. EA, in a lot of ways, is kind of like Warner Bros. is maybe a close comparison I can put, where they do games are coming, and really for any publisher, right? You do know certain games are coming from them, but they're not going to push them until it gets kind of close. That's generally how, even the sports games, right? They normally don't do anything sports games related until May, June, and then they come out August and September, right? Very, very short time in between. Now, again, those developers, they only have like 1 year to make them, so you can't really show them any earlier. But even these Star Wars games, I think it makes sense for this, however, this is the next gen year, right? This is the transition year. This is the year that you're going to have a lot of publishers, a lot of developers talking about their next gen games. It makes sense for a lot, and I've said this before, it makes sense for a lot of publishers to break their habits, what they've done in the past, right? Again, like Warner Bros. Announcing their games, releasing it like 6 months later. It's not going to fly, and announcing Harry Potter, Rocksteady, and the Batman game when they're not all going to come out within 6 months, right? So you have to spread them out, and in that way, you have to announce them now, and then you are going to have this like trickle-down effect. So when it comes to these Star Wars games, I think it makes sense to show Project Man again, like this is their way of saying, hey, like we still have this license, by the way, in case anybody forgot, and we want to show you what Star Wars, literally what Star Wars is going to look like on next gen. That's I think a pretty nice way of introducing it. I think they honestly will say something along those lines, truly. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I really am excited to see this game. I wasn't all that excited even when the leak happened, even when it was on the PlayStation Store taken down. I actually made a video like the next day talking about it, and I was excited and I was interested. I just wasn't like super into it. I think the closer we get, the more I am looking forward to it. Again, I don't really need necessarily a very, very different, unusual Star Wars game, but I'll take anything. I'll take any Star Wars game I can get, right? So I think it's going to be very, very good. And then when it comes to Jedi Fallen Order 2, I really do think a nod. EA, they are easily one of the ones that do the whole, when they do like those office videos, right, where they have the different shots of the office, and they did that for Amy Hennig's game, remember? For actually several years, they'd have like those quick shots of like them working on like sketches and Amy Hennig talking to different people, and then they showed like very, very little of what that game was actually going to be. Remember all that? They've done that before. I think they did that with Battlefront 2 as well, like years before Battlefront 2 came out. So I think it's possible. We know, the writing's on the wall, right? Respawn, we know they're making a second game. EA has talked about this game as a franchise, so they're not going to give it up anytime soon. All this stuff, and the game sold outrageously well. The game was a slam dunk hit, right? And so they obviously need to continue making games. That's an easy one. But again, that game would be like a 2022 game, and even if Respawn started working on this game, which a lot of developers do this, by the way, they'll start working on a game a couple months, or even if they have two studios, they obviously start way before then. But even if you have one studio, you can probably start working on your next game while the current game is finishing up. So even if they've been working on Jedi Fallen Order 2 for like 4 or 5 months before the first game came out, it still hasn't even been a year yet. So they wouldn't have anything to show us, I don't think. But again, a nod, maybe even bringing out somebody from Respawn. Because they've had DLC, or they've had updates that not necessarily DLC, but actually the updates kind of had DLC quality to them. So maybe they have somebody from Respawn that comes out and says like, yes, we are making a second one, or maybe they have some sort of like sketch art for it. I think they will possibly do something. I think at least a nod saying like this is definitely going to happen, or maybe even mentioning again that they always talk themselves up in these conferences. And again, it's not E3, it's not their E3 conference, but and obviously they haven't even done that in the past, right? They had the EA Live, but I think they could do like a thing where they talk themselves up, right? Talk about how their past games have been so successful. Maybe that's when they mention that Jedi Fallen Order, like starting off this franchise. Maybe they say something like that. That gives us the indication. But I'm not going into this event expecting to see anything Jedi Fallen Order 2, and even this Project Maverick, maybe like very, very, very little. Like I said, maybe like a teaser trailer that maybe says like 2021 at the end. But again, the game's pretty far off. The game is still like a year and a third away from releasing, right? Even if it comes out like November of 2021, we still have quite a while to wait. So I am pumped for both. I understand, and I didn't mention in this, by the way, like I know Sims 5 probably will be shown, Battlefield 6, like we'll have to see what happens there. So there are definitely other things that they can and probably will show. I can definitely make videos for those, and I probably will as we get closer, like next week and the week after leading into it. And I think as we also get closer, we'll start to get more leaks, start to get more rumors of what we'll see at this event. So if anything happens, I'll absolutely be covering it on this channel, okay? If anything breaks, any leaks leading up to it. And then obviously when this event does happen, I will be covering it on the channel as well, okay? I'll have loads of videos talking about anything that EA announces there. So really quickly, to wrap up this video, I want to mention the video sponsor. We actually have a sponsor from Manscaped. I actually have talked about this company in a Predator video a little while ago. This is a full body grooming service. For guys like me, I've been stuck in the house. Actually, I live my life in the house. I don't like to go outside anyway, but I grew my facial hair for quite a while. I did not shave. I was actually waiting the last little bit to get Manscaped. They were nice enough to send me over the Lawnmower 3.0. Very, very good device. This thing works really, really well. They also do like hair creams, hair gels, all sorts of different hair products in general. And again, full body grooming service. I'm sure you guys have heard about them from other videos, other ads as well. If you use the promo code podcast now, you actually get 20% off any purchase you make on their website, as well as free shipping. Okay, so I'm going to leave a link for that in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Again, thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video. And guys, as always, thank you for watching. I truly, truly do appreciate your support. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, have the bell icon turned on. And like I said, if there's anything big that happens, any breaking news, any leaks, anything from EA Plays, I'll absolutely be making videos on. Okay, thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.